Britain are some of the finest gardens anywhere in the world. For me, it's about getting in amongst the wonderful plants that flourish in this country and sharing the passion of the people who tend them.
However, there is another way to enjoy a garden. And that's to get up above it.
I love ballooning because you get to see the world below in a whole new light.
From up here you get a real sense of how the garden sits in the landscape, how the terrain and the climate has shaped it. And I want you to share that experience with me.
I've been lucky enough to float across the skies of Britain, experiencing some truly breathtaking landscapes.
Phenomenal! Awesome! Absolutely awesome!
And this is no different.
Today I'm off visiting Staffordshire. In the north you've got hilly moorlands, but in the south the famous Cannock Chase with its deciduous forests and its conifers, making it a fascinating county.
Staffordshire's a landlocked county lying in the heart of England.
Its largest city, Stoke-on-Trent, is associated with the pottery industry. The county is also rich in iron and coal deposits. And it's got some amazing gardens.
This is my chance to experience Staffordshire from a whole new perspective. Today I'm dropping in on 2 historic gardens, both of which are full of surprises.
Is that it?
That's it. It covers around 3/4 of an acre.
That is massive!
They've touched the hearts of generations of the people who have looked after them.
My great-great-granddad worked here.
Your great-great-grandfather?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. And of course, I'll be getting stuck in.
I mean, the stink!
Yeah. And employing the help of a few friends.
Celebrate!
Lying in the middle of the UK, Staffordshire experiences cool summers and mild winters, with over 31 inches of rain a year. The mainly clay soil is rich in nutrients, and when plenty of organic matter is added, it provides the perfect mix for growing plants. And there's some fantastic examples in the first garden I'm dropping in on.
In this little corner of Middle England, you've got a garden that travels the world. It is so theatrical and reflects the passions of the Victorian plant collectors, and I just can't wait to get down there.
To the north of the county, near the border with Cheshire, sits Biddulph Grange, a grand Victorian house that was built on the proceeds of Staffordshire's industry. Its gardens were the passion project of James Bateman, a dedicated plantsman and horticulturalist, and they're some of the most extraordinary in Britain. From 1842, the gardens here at Biddulph were designed as a showcase for Bateman's extensive plant collection from all over the world. He and his wife Maria had a passion for plants and the means to indulge it.
Biddulph Grange, for me, is a garden full of adventure and fun. It's a journey around the world. 1 minute you're in Egypt, then you're in Italy, then you find yourself in China, and it's all topped off with the most amazing plants. As a big kid, I just love the place.
You peek through hidey holes and you're transported to a different part of the globe. China comes to life before your eyes with forest and exotic plants. In Egypt, you experience high edges of beech and yew, and as you stroll down the Wellingtonia Walk, you're dwarfed by the colossal American trees. But I'm heading down the Dahlia Walk to meet up with a man tasked with managing this fascinating garden, Paul Walton.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Christine.
Nice
How
to meet you.
Yes, likewise.
What are you doing here?
Just down the Dahlia's had quite a lot of rain, so we've had a boost of growth, and so we're
Right.
just supporting them.
Right, can I give you a hand at all?
Yeah, do you mind working on the back row?
No,
It's
not
all right,
at
I'll
all,
just
yeah.
cut you a bit of string.
Yeah, great. So, I mean, these are looking lovely, aren't they?
Yeah, they're fabulous. They've really come on. They're a really good show. And the idea is just tying them up tight, sort of not pull them too tight.
Yeah. Because you end up doing this, don't they?
Don't want to squeeze them in, and they just don't look natural. Yeah.
Regimental Sergeant Majors with busbies on top. Ridiculous. So how did you get your job here?
Well, when I left school, my sister worked in the tea room, and I used to come with my dad to pick her up. So it's a fabulous garden. I thought how great it'd be to sort of mowing the lawns here at Biddulph. Like anyway, I said gardening, and there was a 2-year training scheme, and I was lucky enough to get it, and I've been here ever since. Worked my way up the ladder to where I am now. So,
That's great. So right from the bottom, right the way up top.
Yeah, loved every minute of it. Yeah, and seeing it from when I started, some of these hedges were quite low down, and now they've come up. So seeing areas mature, yeah, it's just fabulous.
James Bateman was one of the world's most respected orchidologists. He also shared the Victorian mania for dahlias. And to showcase them, he carved out a sunken walk with yew hedges, dividing the terrace beds into a series of compartments. But what we see here today is not Bateman's original work. Biddulph's splendour required huge amounts of money and commitment. This proved an unsustainable passion for Bateman. So in 1871, it was sold to Staffordshire industrialist Robert Heath. Then, in 1921, the house and the estate was donated for use as a hospital. But the gardens became run down and neglected, and the dugout terrace around the Dahlia Walk was filled in to make a lawn for patients. But in 1988, the National Trust acquired the gardens and embarked on an extensive restoration project with the aim of returning Biddulph to the glory of its Victorian heyday. The Dahlia Walk was rediscovered after extensive excavations of the site, and the beds replanted with a range of vibrant colours similar to the ones used in Bateman's original design. Dahlias have gone in and out of favour over the decades, but they've always been a firm favourite, with one little critter.
Walking along this border, what surprised me was there seems to be very, very little earwig damage.
We've been ever so fortunate. Ever since I've been here, we've never had any problem at all.
Really?
We have a lot of visitors asking us, you know, how do you stop the earwigs? But we've never had any problem. We've been ever so lucky.
That's amazing, because in my day, we used to get straw, and
right.
we used to bung it in a pot at night, and this was a job that we'd do last thing at night, first thing in the morning, and then you'd poke it on your canes, and the earwigs would come up the foliage, go up there to sleep, and then in the morning you take the whole thing off, and you could get 50 or 60 earwigs, and it's a really good tip. I think, you know, this looks more, I mean,
especially terracotta pot as well.
you know, there's something rather
Character there,
rustic, and quite.
Just cut you a bit of string.
What makes Biddulph so special to you?
It's like a family atmosphere here, isn't it? Working with colleagues, they're not just work, you know, they're friends. You know, I just love it. I've seen the garden develop over the years. I feel very fortunate that I manage such a fabulous garden. And it's like that with a lot of the team, you know, they're very passionate.
Because these days, you know, it's quite hard running a garden, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be. We are quite a small team, and we have to prioritise work, but... job now, Christine, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a
I don't mind that, yeah.
Just quick, nothing personal, but do you mind dressing up?
What do you mean by that?
I'll show you.
Something tells me it might not be a pretty Victorian frock I'll be wearing, although the team here is tasked with keeping the garden true to its Victorian past. The garden's Grade 1 listed status means it's of exceptional historic value. Every plant, shrub and tree planted here is as close to Bateman's original design as possible. But now I've changed, I'm not sure I like where this is going.
Listen, when you said dressing up, I wasn't expecting this. So, I mean, well, many a gardener I've looked at and, well, so what the blazes are we up to?
Today we're thinning out some of the water lilies and we really appreciate your help with this, if that's okay.
Okay. You know I'm not good in boats, don't you?
Oh, it'll be all right. Only move a little bit.
All right, you got some quolls or something for me?
Yes.
Seasick pills. I think I might need them. Okay then, let's give it a go. I've got to get in here.
You getting in the boat, yes. And
Right.
we'll try to keep you in the boat, eh?
Right, well, I'd prefer that, to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure about this enormous wind. Wait.
You sit yourself down.
Hey, hang on a minute.
There we go.
Right, okay.
Right, good luck.
Now, hey, come on, Buggerlugs. Come on, if I'm in, you're in.
I'm getting in now.
I should up. Come on.
I'm in.
We're all in this mess together. Now, hang on a minute. Why haven't I got any oars? Why haven't I got...
You're in safe hands. Safe hands.
You reckon?
Got no other options.
Come on then, let's get on with it. Yeah, just...
This one in.
Go on, get on with it. Come on, look, get it in here.
Right, hold on, mate. This one's quite a bit bigger, this one.
It's a bit aromatic. God, look at it.
Like that, do you?
I mean, they stink. God. Yeah.
I must admit, when I think of water lilies, this is not the image that immediately springs to mind. Water lilies are a hugely popular water plant with many elegant flower shapes and colours. With dwarfs and large forms available, this versatile plant is an excellent choice for small water features in formal ponds or large lakes. They thrive in calm, still water away from disturbances like waterfalls or fountains. They're best planted between late spring and late summer and will produce more flowers if planted in the sunniest open position of the water. Flowers last 3 to 4 days and should be cut off below the waterline, along with any old leaves before they sink and rot.
Stop faffing about, lad.
There we go.
Look, get it in here. Yeah. I'm not sure if I like
Oh
this.
dear. Is it all right?
Look.
Oh, look at
I mean,
that.
look, I mean, my leg's underneath. I can't get my leg out now.
I can tell you now, I wouldn't be mucking about in this boat without good reason. And it's because the white lilies are historically accurate, while the pink ones are a newer variety, not in keeping with the original garden, so they have to be cleared.
The problem we have to borrow a boat.
Oh,
Borrow a
no.
boat. If not, we drag him to the bankside, back again, and it takes days.
So it is easier to do it
Oh
like
yeah,
this?
we've very kindly been lent this boat, but we've only got it for today.
Right.
So we'll do what we can, but then it's next time we get one available.
So you
we
never
are.
clear it properly?
No, and ideally it just wants ridding because we're in here every couple of years. And
Right.
Without constant managing, the newer pink lilies will continue to encroach into the lake, causing a real headache for Paul and his team.
History is important, isn't it, really? And heritage is important. But, I mean, this is seriously hard work.
oh, it is hard work, but whatever it takes, you know, the team, brilliant team here, brilliant team volunteers, we're working to that vision of restoring this garden back to how it was when James Bateman was here. Some lovely fish in here as well, so and soon take over.
the nibbly.
I'll catch one of them then.
The team here is committed to returning the garden to its Victorian splendour. And just a stone's throw away, in Biddulph, is a group of volunteers who are moving on from their town's industrial past. Like much of this part of Britain, Biddulph once relied on local industry for its prosperity. Mining, the railways and its proximity to the potteries put the town on the map in the 19th century. The decline of these local industries hit the town hard. But one local resident, Hilda Sheldon, has made it her mission to brighten up the place.
The town found itself in a really bad way, and a group of us got together to try and do something about the town's poor environment and to give the people a sense of pride in where they lived.
Over 20 years ago, Hilda set up Biddulph in Bloom. With a dedicated group of volunteers, she set to work, revitalising the town through gardening and planting thousands of plants and trees and maintaining local areas. Today, they're out in force.
You want 6 across.
6 across.
And then if you do them about that far apart.
Yeah.
One of the group's local volunteers, Harold Hancock, is in charge of nurturing some of the plants and shrubs that line the streets of Biddulph. And where better to start than in his own back garden?
This is where some of the pansies are. For the summer, we grow getting on for 19,000, and for the winter, 11 to 12,000. Up there, we have stock plants for next year's bedding, so we're working 12 months ahead. It's a lot grown in a very small area.
So much so, he's had to commandeer his next-door neighbour's garden.
We also do a few tomatoes for ourselves. It's a 12-month-of-the-year job, gardening is, so it never stops. It sort of keeps me off the street and out of the pub. Great.
And the other volunteers are also feeling the benefits.
I haven't got a garden of my own, so I use this as my garden. And I've made a lot of friends since I've been here.
It's just made such a difference to everybody's lives, not just us who work on it, but just everybody.
The dedication of the volunteers means this once depressed area is now known as the garden town of Staffordshire. And their hard work hasn't gone unnoticed. Over the years, Biddulph in Bloom has won numerous awards. Recently, they won gold at the National RHS Britain in Bloom contest.
People often say to me, you know, I wouldn't have thought of coming to Biddulph before because it was always a miserable place. But they say what you do now is just marvellous.
But there's no doubt about the driving force behind the charity.
Hilda is Biddulph in Bloom. Where the heck she finds her energy from, I don't know. And she's a credit to Biddulph.
For her services to Staffordshire and her community work, Hilda was awarded an MBE.
It's very humbling. The community have really taken on board what we're trying to do, and they are so supportive. And that gives us the energy to keep carrying on.
What a truly inspirational lady. Whether it's transforming your own garden, revitalising a town, or restoring a Victorian masterpiece, it just goes to show what can be done with hard work and dedication. And there must be something in the water around here. Local lass Helen Wilshaw is Biddulph Grange's visitor service manager, and she's putting her heart and soul into the garden she grew up with.
What does a garden actually mean to you?
It's sort of part of my upbringing, you know. I've had ancestors that have worked here.
Really?
You know. Yeah, my great-great-granddad worked here.
Your great-great-grandfather?
Yeah, he was here.
Helen's connection to the garden goes back a century to when Robert Heath owned the estate.
My great-great-grandfather lived in a farm a bit further up the road from the Grange, and he used to come down and help out as well. And in my great-aunt's memoirs, she talks about him being there and knocking the snow off the tree branches, and how he caught pneumonia. He was working so hard one winter there. So there's quite a connection.
Helen was just 6 years old when she first came here.
I was taken up there for a hospital fete, and it was quite different, and you'd see the hospital sort of butting up to the garden. The patients were rolled out on their beds, and I remember they were waving to us. And then much later on, when you heard about it coming up for sale, it was a little bit more derelict then. So to come back and work there and do this beautiful restoration is quite amazing.
And working in the garden is still a family affair.
I have my father that volunteers every week there. My mum comes down, I give her a ring, said, "Mum, we're busy, come and give us a help."
Having grown up with the garden, Helen knows how important the restoration of Biddulph is for the future generations to enjoy.
There's almost a weight on my shoulders to make it be a special place for everybody. You know, it's a responsibility. I'm from Biddulph. Everybody's got really strong memories of it, and I want it to be right for everybody.
What about the water and those pink and white water lilies?
The water lilies, the ongoing water lilies. Oh, see, that's one of my pet subjects, the pink water lilies.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm a bit of a get rid of the pink and keep the white girl, you know. Bateman would have had white lilies,
right.
So true to keeping this garden within its time, within its era, I think we should have white lilies. So the pink is a horrible job, but they've got to go.
Before they ask me to get in that boat again, I'm taking to the skies. From high above, you can see that Staffordshire's at the heart of the Inland Waterways network. It has more miles of canals than any other Shire county. It's an enduring feature of the Industrial Revolution. During its heyday, the Trent and Mersey Canal saw almost 1.5 million tonnes of freight carried along its route each year. And around the same time that the first canals were being built here in the 18th century, so began the transformation of the next garden I'm off to visit.
About 35 miles south of Stoke is another very fascinating garden. Follies, yew trees, and a garden that's really well worth visiting.
In 1720, wealthy landowner Thomas Anson inherited the Shugborough estate and spent the next 50 years turning the small manor house into an imposing country seat. He knocked down everything that spoiled his view of the Trent Valley and annexed 1,000 acres of Cannock Chase to complete his dream. Like Biddulph Grange, it's a Grade 1 listed estate, with formal gardens planted with English lavender, striking conical yellow yews, and 8 magnificent monuments set in lush green parkland. Head gardener Derek Higgard is charged with keeping the garden here spick and span.
Hi, Derek.
Hi, Christine.
Nice to see you. Hi. I'm fine, thank you. Somebody told me you was planting clemency. I thought I'd give you a hand. So let's.
That's very good.
Now, are you a deep planter?
I am. I'd like to plant about 4 or 5 inches deeper than what they are, obviously, in their pots.
So let's get this out. So how long have you been here now?
I've been here 7 years. I'm going to my 8th season.
Great.
Yeah. Yes. I came here when I was 16 on a YTS scheme.
Really?
And I came here just down here in the garden for a couple of weeks and they wanted a job for me. And then I had to wait 30 years to come back.
30?
Yeah.
Hey, you're a persistent soul.
And I'm hoping to be here till I retire now.
Great. So we'll get this in here and then... I can't believe how nice this soil is.
Oh, it's beautiful. We had plenty of muck to it and leaf mould as well.
Just the stuff for growing clematis. And with masses of spectacular flowers, no wonder it's one of the most popular garden plants. This versatile plant has a wide range of colours and sizes and can be grown on walls and pergolas, in containers, or left to scramble through trees and shrubs. It's best planted in the spring or early autumn, and the many varieties will give you colour from winter to late summer. Clematis enjoys sun or partial shade and needs moisture retentive but well-drained soil to thrive. But a common problem is clematis wilt. To avoid this, plant deep, 3 to 4 inches deeper than normal. And here's another top tip.
You can use something like an old tile or a plant pot with the bottom taken off, and then if we feed that through there, now that protects that stem.
Yes.
So it can't move about. And that means that the plant will grow away, establish really well, and you don't get clematis wilt. Good water in, and then presto.
That's super.
The National Trust now owns these historic gardens, along with the magnificent house and 900 acres of parkland. But in 1842, the first Earl of Lichfield, Thomas William Anson, a gambling man and lover of extravagance, put the whole estate in jeopardy.
It was reported that he was with some friends and they split an apple in half.
Right.
And it was full of maggots, and they had a maggot race. And he
maggot race?
Yes, and he waged £1,000 on it. And his was losing, so he blew on it after having alcohol. And they say that it died on the table. And he gambled that much away that they had to sell the whole contents of the house.
Oh, based on a perishing maggot?
Yeah.
OK.
I'm not sure too about the maggoty story, but legend has it there's a beast that lurks here which is said to be as wide as the Albert Hall. At first glance this may seem like a very large bush, but on closer inspection you'll see it's one enormous yew tree with a single trunk at its very heart.
That is massive!
Covers around 3/4 of an acre.
It's enormous!
And it has its own ecosystem, and there is a family of muntjac who live in there as well.
I mean, how old is it?
Some people say 600, some people say 300.
Oh, but look at it, I mean, it's massive!
Yeah, you wouldn't like the job of trimming that, would you?
I wouldn't want to trim that.
These fascinating trees are incredibly long-lived and slow-growing. This one may seem quite old, but it's a baby when you consider some yew trees are estimated to be over 3,000 years old. They can grow up to 25 metres tall, and although this one isn't that tall, it's extremely wide. But I want to know how wide, and the only way I can truly get a sense of the scale of this mammoth tree is to enlist the help of the people of Staffordshire.
You look a motley crew. It's lovely that you've all turned out, and this is all about celebrating your county's biggest yew tree. And the only way we can do that is I want you all to fan out and hold hands. So men, ladies, children, off you go. Go on, get round the back, go on. Go on, keep going. Keep stretching. Come on, we're nearly there. Think we're going to do it. Come on. Are we connected? So I'm going to go around and I'm going to count to see how many people surround this tree. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 31, 32, 33, 34, 39, 60, 61, 62, 67, 100, 101, 50, 59, 160, 162. Come on, come on, we can do it. We can do it. 163. We've done it! Hey! 163
thanks to the people of Staffordshire, I've got a whole new perspective on this magnificent yew tree. As you float away from one living monument, there's another in the south of the county, near Burton-on-Trent. It's a source of pride not just to the people of Staffordshire, but to the whole country. Located in the heart of the nation, sitting alongside the River Tame, stands the National Memorial Arboretum. It was opened in 2001, and the 152-acre site has over 300 memorials, asking tribute to those who served their country and honouring the fallen. The assistant curator here is James Shallcross.
There's many memorials, civilian and military, and they range from the Royal National Lifeboat Institute, the RNLI Garden, through to the Basra Wall. The Royal Navy have a lovely memorial, a blue glass memorial, which was opened this year. The beauty of it is just discovering them when you walk around.
It's a young arboretum, but there are already over 40,000 trees around the grounds, many of which have relevance to the memorials around them. The chestnuts that line the Police Memorial Avenue were chosen because the first truncheons were made from this extremely durable wood. The 2,535 trees in the Merchant Navy Convoy Wood represent vessels lost during World War II.
The idea of having the memorials within the trees, it makes it a soft landscape. It's parkland, it's woodland, it's nature. It just gives that peace and contemplation, which is really what the Arboretum's about.
The centrepiece is the Armed Forces Memorial. On it are the names of over 16,000 service personnel who have been killed on duty since the end of the Second World War. Stonemason Nick Hindle is responsible for adding the names to the wall.
It's a fantastic place to work at. I'm extremely proud. And it isn't just the names. You know, there's families and friends behind all these people, and for them to come here and see their loved one on the wall, they must be very proud. Just this last few months, a lady came and watched me from marking on the name right through to the last chisel mark, and it was hard for me to do that, but for that poor lady to stand there and watch that, it's been the worst thing in the world. But I suppose that might have given her a little bit of comfort.
In 1982, during the Falklands conflict, Margaret Allen's husband, Ian Baldy, was killed on board HMS Argonaut.
It was very difficult at the time because he was not repatriated. He was actually buried at sea. All we got back was a story, and there needed to be a place that we could go and be and reflect and spend time, and this is what the National Memorial Arboretum offers. When I get to this place, I can feel him here. I know he's here, and, you know, in spirit, and I know they're all together, and that is so comforting.
For Carol Ann Jones, whose son Sergeant John Jones was killed in Iraq, the memorial offers the chance to meet people and share experiences.
This place is a second home to me. I come here more than I go to the grave because I can sit here all day if I want to. I know most of the families with the names on the walls, and I know most of the families who have lost loved ones in Afghanistan. We're all one big family.
Although the National Memorial Arboretum serves as a place of remembrance, it's also a great source of comfort for so many people.
It's the most incredible place. It has this wonderful energy about it. It's not in the slightest bit mournful. It's happy.
It's just got a special feel. It's so peaceful. And the people that do the grounds and work for the Arboretum, the volunteers, they do an amazing job. And this is why it's like it is.
I feel an affiliation to lots of the memorials, and then also to be able to work with the trees and the gardens. It is a great pleasure to be here.
Without this place, life would have been an awful lot more difficult. So I'm very, very grateful for it.
Taking a space and turning it into somewhere special for people to enjoy is what gardening's all about for me. And to see the comfort it brings here is truly heartwarming. So when people appreciate the work that goes on, it makes it all the more worthwhile. And back at Biddulph Grange, I'm finding out just how much they appreciate Helen Wilshaw. She's the garden's visitor service manager with a family history here that goes back centuries. Since visiting as a child, she's seen the gardens transformed.
She will do anything she can to help you. You can call her any time of day and she'll be there.
1 minute she'll be in the shop, another minute she'll be in the restaurant, then she'll be in the garden showing people round. Everything is important to her.
She just talks herself and she helps us all with any problems, and we're all great friends actually.
She's just the heart and soul of Biddulph Grange, and if ever she did leave, I don't think anyone could ever fill her shoes. She is the lady of Biddulph by a mile, yeah.
For me, what makes this place so special is just how much everyone here shares the sense of magical adventure this garden creates.
The whole garden is about mischief and fun, but you two just exude it.
Yeah.
It's when you start spending money and I say, what you doing?
Spending money?
I'm not allowed to spend money unless Helen says so.
No, not at all. I have to keep him under control.
The thing I get from talking to both of you is a local sense of pride.
Oh, very much so, very much so.
Yeah, and that really comes across.
Yeah.
But just how much flipping hard work is involved in trying to bring this back true to Bateman and its history and everything else.
The layout of the garden really is a big challenge. You know, we get no machinery in here at all. Everything's carried in and out. So it is a hard garden to work in. We just want the garden to look the best all year round.
Yeah, I actually think you're doing a pretty magnificent job. It's really quite something.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The garden is testament to just how dedicated the team is, and having experienced firsthand how hard it is to conserve this garden, I've come up with an idea of how to help. Without the use of their own boat all year round, clearing those pesky pink water lilies will be an endless task. So there's another little restoration project on the go. We've asked boatmaker Roger Wilkinson to take this old wooden boat, which to be fair could do with a bit of TLC, and refurbish it to make it shipshape again. So whenever the Biddulph Grange team needs to get out on the lake, they'll have their very own boat.
It's a nice little dinghy. It's a little bit rough at the edges at the moment. We've got various holes and cracks in the planking, but I'm sure it'll look lovely by the time I've finished, and it'll be a nice surprise. So the basic thing is to get the boat square and back to its original shape, and then I'll be basically coating the bottom of the boat and filling all the holes in. Well, that's one little job done. Only another 300 or more to go, and then we can put this nice little boat on the water at Biddulph. Hope it doesn't sink.
You and me both, lad. So you best get on with it, because I'm gathering together some of Helen's friends, family and colleagues to join in with the surprise. And of course, if you're going to launch a boat, you need a bit of bubbly.
I know it's been a long day. Helen, one of the things that's been quite touching today is the love and the warmth that people have expressed.
Right.
Volunteers and this chappie, even though he did try to drown me, have been expressing that you are the life and soul of Biddulph Gardens. And I just thought that it would be quite nice to acknowledge that amount of work. So, well, yeah, I'll have that.
Don't have that there.
That we just thought it'd be quite nice to actually get you a more stable boat, because I just can't believe that you lot dive in and not is it Biddulph's boat, but actually this is Helen's boat for a very, very special person.
Oh, thank you.
So, as a little thank you for a lovely day, and it's been lovely. Volunteers together, people,
this is
celebrate Helen's boat.
Oh,
so here's to Helen's boat.
Helen's boat.
I'm really impressed.
Come on, lads, let's get this boat in this water. Right.
And for a proper send-off, we need a naming ceremony.
Well, I think I'm going to declare this Helen's boat, but it's Helen's boat for lots of water lilies. And me.
And now it's time for the maiden voyage.
You ready?
Now then, where are we off now then?
Off you go.
I don't think you do it like that. Come here, woman.
I do enjoy a good boat trip, but my preferred method of transport is up in the air. From high above the heart of England, the scars of Staffordshire's industrial heritage are clear to see. But everywhere I look, I see people breathing new life into the land. Reclaimed sites are turned into peaceful places of contemplation. Once industrial areas are transformed into beautiful garden towns. And I leave here safe in the knowledge that the dedication of the people who restore and maintain these magnificent historic gardens means future generations will get to enjoy their magic as much as I have.